Roswell, Alien Interview, Chapter 16, Airl Departs. Matilda O'Donnell McElroy, personal note. I remained at the base mostly confined to my quarters for another 3 weeks after Airl had been incapacitated by Dr. Wilcox. Once a day I was escorted to the room where Airl lay on the bed, under continued surveillance by Dr. Wilcox and others. Each time I went to the room I was asked to try to communicate with Airl again. Each time there was no response. This saddened me a great deal. As the days continued, I became increasingly more certain and distressed that Airl was dead, if that is the right word for it. Every day I reread the transcripts of my interviews with Airl, searching for a clue that might remind me of something or help me in some way to re-establish communication with Airl. I still had the envelope in my possession with copies of the transcripts that Airl was asked to sign. To this day, I don't understand why no one ever asked me to return them. I suppose they forgot about the copy of the transcripts in all the excitement. I did not offer to return them. I kept them concealed under the mattress of my bed all the time I remained at the base, and have kept them with me ever since then. You will be the first person to see these transcripts. Since Airl's body was not biological, the doctors could not detect whether the body was alive or dead unless it moved. Of course, I knew that if Airl was not consciously animating the body as an ISB, the body would not move. I explained this to Dr. Wilcox. I explained this to him several times. Each time he just gave me a patronizing sort of smile, patted my arm, and thanked me for trying again. At the end of the 3rd week, I was told by Dr. Wilcox that my services would no longer be needed because it had been decided by the military to move Airl to a larger, more secure military medical facility that was better equipped to deal with the situation. He didn't say anything about where the facility was located. That was the last time I saw Airl's doll body. The following day I received written orders signed by General Twining. The orders said that I had completed my service to the U.S. military and was officially discharged from further duty, and that I would receive an honorable discharge and a generous military pension. I would be also relocated by the military and given a new identity with the appropriate documents. Along with the orders, I received a document that I was instructed to read and sign. It was an oath of secrecy. The language of the document was full of legalese, but the point was very clearly made that I was to never, ever discuss anything whatsoever with anyone about anything whatsoever that I had seen, heard, or experienced during my service in the military under pain of death as an act of treason against the United States of America. As it turned out, I was placed into a federal government witness protection program, except that I would be protected from the government by the government. In other words, as long as I stayed quiet, I could stay alive. The following morning, I was placed aboard a small military transport plane and flown to a relocation destination. After being shuttled to several locations for short periods, I eventually ended up in Glasgow, Montana, near Fort Peck. The night before I was scheduled to board the transport plane, I lay in bed, contemplating the whole affair and wondering what happened to Airl and to me. I suddenly heard Airl's voice. I sat bolt upright in my bed and turned on the light on the nightstand. I looked around the room frantically for a few seconds. Then I realized that it was Airl, the ISB. Her body was not in the room with me, of course, and it didn't need to be. She said hello. The tone of her thought was plain and friendly. It was unmistakably Airl. I did not have the least doubt about that. I thought, Airl, are you still here? She answered that she was here, but not in a body on Earth. She had returned to her post at the domain base when the doctor and the MPs attacked us in the interview room. She was pleased to perceive that I was well and that I was going to be released unharmed. I wondered how she escaped from them. I was worried that they might have injured Airl by the shock machine. Airl said that she was able to leave the body before the shock was administered and avoid the electric current running through the body. She wanted to let me know that she was safe and not to worry about her. I was very relieved, to say the least. I asked Airl if I would ever see her again. Airl reassured me that we are both ISBs. We are not physical bodies. Now that she had located me in space and time, we would always stay in communication. Airl wished me well, and my communication with her ended for the moment.